I take full responsibility for the coronavirus, even though it came from China on a plane piloted by Nancy Pelosi, filled with Mexicans, which we shot down over Pedo Island.
Welcome to Mojo Corps, and today we're taking a look at the most hilarious impersonations of Republican politicians on SNL.
Yeah, that guy was crazy. He's a loon. He's a nutbag is what he is.
James Austin Johnson as Donald Trump. In a long history of great Donald Trump impressions, James Austin Johnson might just be the most accurate.
You know what? Sleepy Joe Biden is such a disaster. We're coming back. We're coming back in 2024. We're doing the reboot, okay? Everyone loves reboots. People loved it before. They're gonna like it again.
His vocal impersonation is so spot on that it's both scary and funny in equal measure. Along with getting the voice right, Johnson can also go on a trademark ramble as the politician. The stream of consciousness delivery makes for some truly hilarious segments that reference pop culture.
Speaking of white people, John Mayer.
The performer plays up the real man's complexities while also creating a character that's completely absurd in every way. Thankfully, the impressionist finds enough comedy here to poke fun at the headlines and create his own stamp on the man.
And Grinch was very bad when he stole Christmas. But I got it back. I brokered a historic deal with Grinch and Netanyahu. And we decided that no Christmas would ever be stolen again.
Chris Farley as Newt Gingrich. When the great Chris Farley did anything, he never gave anything less than 100%. This is especially true in the case of his off-the-wall Newt Gingrich impression.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. DeLay of Texas.
I propose that the Democrats only be allowed to speak for 8 seconds at a time.
Fine, all in favor? Aye! Motion passes.
Infusing his explosive energy into every line, Farley couldn't help but make the politician more hyper. His performance as the Speaker of the House features some brilliant comic timing and lots of gavel banging. The comedian even plays Gingrich against his mother, seeing his more personal side with surprising results.
Do you understand?
Yes, Nudie.
All right. I love you, Mom.
It's a funny and manic twist on the 1990s political figure. Through it all, the legendary performer never lets up with his wildly entertaining spin.
Okay. HR 590, the proposal that live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Daryl Hammond as Dick Cheney. Daryl Hammond is a master of impressions and successfully tried his luck impersonating a number of political figures during his tenure at SNL. However, it's Hammond's take on former Vice President Dick Cheney that stands alongside his Bill Clinton as one of the comedian's most well-known parodies.
If you shoot another friend, will you keep it a secret?
Hammond hams it up and does his best to play with Cheney's public persona as the evil puppet mastermind behind the George W. Bush administration, while getting a lot of laughs in the process.
Happy Valentine's, Mr. Cheney. It's hot here in Iraq. I can't wait for you to get here so you can suck. I don't think I need to finish that.
That sneaky snarl, those side-eye glances, it's all part of Hammond's hilarious take on a polarizing man. Dan Akroyd as Richard Nixon. This not-ready-for-primetime player was notable for a couple of presidential impersonations, including a memorable stint as Jimmy Carter during the early seasons of Saturday Night Live.
Peter, what did the acid look like?
Dan Akroyd also did a very successful impression of Richard Nixon to boot, standing out among the myriad of other comics who were taking their shot at the infamous ex-president.
Now, when I was president, I did some bad things.
Copying Nixon's idiosyncratic hunched-over gait and penchant for waving victory signs was the easy part.
You don't have to read it, although I originally wrote it to be read.
More challenging was trying to get laughs portraying a man who was so disliked and controversial. Akroyd succeeded, however, going on to portray Nixon a total of 10 times from 1976 to 1979.
Do you think I'm a crook? Take it out on the book.
Dana Carvey as George H.W. Bush.
These financial regulations are important to prevent bubbles.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of bubbles. And
It seems as if SNL icon Dana Carvey can impersonate just about anyone. But it was the world of politics that gave us some of the cast members' most memorable bits. When it came to his impersonation of George H.W. Bush, Carvey had a lot of material to work with during the course of Bush's presidency.
Did you see this election's about who can take the heat? It's hot in there, very hot.
But it's the comedian's uncanny ability to mimic the former president's voice and mannerisms, especially during monologues and debates, that are probably best remembered.
Kind of short down in this area down here. Would love to be up here, but I'm down here.
Will Ferrell as George W. Bush.
Al, listen, we got a lot of work here.
Will Ferrell first introduced his W impersonation in 1999 to wild reviews.
McCain wasn't afraid to tell people his honest opinion, straightforward. What a nut.
Presenting Bush Jr. as naive, simple, and in over his head, Ferrell lampooned the president while also nailing his accent, squint, and difficulties with grammar.
I believe that some of his figures may be inaccurate.
Once Ferrell left the cast, others tried to take on the mantle, but no one quite measured up to Ferrell. In fact, his impersonation was so good, he adapted it into the Broadway play You're Welcome, America, A Final Night with George W. Bush. Ferrell reprised his role a few times on SNL, too, including in 2018 with an important message.
So I just wanted to address my fellow Americans tonight and remind you guys that I was really bad.
Melissa McCarthy as Sean Spicer. We return to another Trump-era SNL impersonation for our next entry.
I'll accept one last question. Yeah, I'll take this loser.
Melissa McCarthy surprised everyone in 2017 when she appeared on Saturday Night Live to impersonate former White House press secretary Sean Spicer.
Because I'm not here to be your buddy. I'm here to swallow gum, and I'm here to take names.
The comedian's natural affinity for physical comedy and mimicry brought the house down. And it wasn't long before McCarthy was making regular appearances as Spicer. Her impression was loud, colorful, and boisterous. And we loved every minute of it.
Wall Street Journal, are you okay?
Even Sean Spicer admitted that it was, quote, kind of funny, although he said his boss didn't see it that way. Tina Fey as Sarah Palin. It's one of the most beloved and most well-known political parodies in SNL history. The time Tina Fey took a shot at vice presidential hopeful Sarah Palin.
Are there parts of the country that you consider un-American?
Oh, you know, that was just my lame attempt at a joke, but, yes, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Delaware, California.
Fey won a Primetime Emmy Award in 2009 for her portrayal of the former Alaskan governor. A nuanced performance that both skewered Palin's political prowess, or lack thereof, and lightheartedly poked fun at her beauty queen appearance, accent, and use of colloquialisms.
And now I'd like to entertain everybody with some fancy pageant walking.
It was a smash hit, and Fey would return to the role a number of times for SNL, securing the character as a high point in the show's long-running history of political comedy.
Take a break from my full-time career of writing things on Facebook.
Which Republican politician would you most like to see SNL make fun of? Let us know in the comments.
Is what the lamestream media is spinning.